Hello guys, welcome to another video. Here today, we are going to be looking at this insider reveals a major Russell Westbrook update. As you know, we talked about the LeBron trade yesterday. I'm recording this the same day. I'm recording this like an hour after. But obviously, we know about that trade. But what if we could get this trade happening too? All right, let's just hop into it. This is Last Night Today with Dave Dubois. I hope I'm saying that right. Apologize if I'm not, but we're gonna watch this here and react to it.
So today we begin with Insider Reveals major Russell Westbrook update. This is huge. That's right, 37-year-old Russell Westbrook may be heading to the Miami Heat, which of course 5 years ago would have been a big deal. But I'm here to tell you.
Obviously, we were talking about LeBron going to the Heat, so if we get Westbrook, LeBron to the Heat with Bam and Giannis, that could make a huge team, man. That would be a crazy team to watch, and I think that would be very, very entertaining.
Today, actually, it still is a big deal. Welcome back to Last Night Today. As always, North America, I'm Dave Dubois, and I bring you daily sports news, trade reports, trade rumors, and of course, a lot of commentary. On today's show, we are going to talk about the Miami Heat and the likelihood that Russ, a.k.a. Russell Westbrook, might actually be heading to the Heat. Now, I know a lot of you out there believe that Russell Westbrook is skiing down the backside of Career Mountain, and I think maybe some of you think he's actually all the way down the mountain. I, however, believe that
I believe Russell Westbrook has a good 3-4 years left before he retires. Obviously 15 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Yeah. I don't think that's bad stats at all. He's obviously going down in progression. He's getting older and older. But I think he could still make a major difference on this Miami Heat roster if he gets added to it with LeBron, Giannis, Bam, even Mitchell Robinson would be a, great team to go around.
Russell Westbrook, if you just take a look at what he has done over the past couple seasons, it's not as bad as you think. Just don't pay attention to the fact that he's been playing for the Sacramento Kings, and don't pay attention to his three-point percentage. Of course, those have never been good things, either if you're a Kings fan or if you're a Russell Westbrook fan. But 15.2 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, and 6.7 assists. And I've highlighted the 6.7 assists for you all out there that are just in general NBA fans, just simply to say these are actually fantastic numbers for a backup point guard in the National Basketball Association. And quite frankly, the 6.7 assists at his age of 37 years old is still absolute.
I did not realize that Russell Westbrook was 37. I thought he was 35. So maybe not 3 to 4 years, maybe 1 to 2. But then again, I think that they could bring a championship to Miami if they bring him along with LeBron and, pair all those guys up, get the chemistry up. LeBron and Russ have played together before. I don't know if Russ has played with Bam, because I don't know. Has Bam been out of Miami, or has he been there his entire career? I don't know. But, yeah, they could build chemistry around there, and I think that would be an amazing team, and it would be a difficult team to beat.
A fantastic number for any starting point guard in the National Basketball Association. LaMelo Ball, who's now a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves, for some strange, bizarre reason, the Charlotte Hornets decided to blow up a team that was finally still performing. That being said, LaMelo averages like 7.1 assists per game, and he's considerably younger than Russ at this point. So when I think about point guards in the National Basketball Association, I don't pay too much attention as long as they're, scoring more than 15 points a game. But I really always look to see how good are they at making other people on the court better, which is why I believe Russell Westbrook in Miami is actually, believe it or not, I mean, here's a picture of Russell. Yeah, he looks good in a Miami Heat uniform. And certainly Russell Westbrook in Miami, just Russell Westbrook in Miami, of course, would be entertaining. Now, the insider report comes from a New York Post article from Stefan Bondi. The Heat are the team to watch for.
Oh, so it's only if LeBron does not end up in Miami. So that makes it different. If they go with Bam, Giannis, and Russ, then I don't know if they could contend for the championship then, because I think LeBron is that piece that they need. A veteran presence who has done it before, along with Giannis, and then bringing on a veteran presence who wants it more than anybody on this team. So, yeah, I don't think it's a great idea to do it if they're not going to get LeBron out of it, too, because they need to be contenders. If they want to get, Russ a chip, they're going to need that LeBron presence.
Or Russell Westbrook, though only if LeBron James does not end up in Miami, which, of course, makes a lot of sense. I think Russell and LeBron proved a couple years ago in Los Angeles.
But once again, I also don't know any of the cap stuff right now. I also don't know how well they would pair together. I'm still pretty new to basketball. I'm just, trying to make sense of this, So I would think that LeBron and Russ ending up here could be possible, but, I don't know anything. I'm obviously not as, intelligent in the sport of basketball as a lot of other people.
Quite frankly, they cannot play on the same team again. Now, here's an image of Russell with Bam when he's not actually fighting former players. And, of course, Giannis, still not sure if he's wearing 34 or 7 with the Miami Heat. Certainly, this is a strong-looking lineup. And especially if this was 5 years ago, we'd all be talking about the Miami Heat winning a championship or winning a couple chips. But we are 5 years later than that. And, of course, Russell Westbrook is skiing down the backside of Career Mountain. He's not the same player he was before. LeBron James is not the same player he was before. But like LeBron James, Russell Westbrook at this point, at this very stage of his career, quite frankly, is still too good to retire. Now, the roster for the Miami Heat is actually pretty strong, especially if you sprinkled in some Russell Westbrook on top of it. Even if Russell didn't start and came off the bench, you would still be looking at a vastly improved roster. Now, here's how it looks right now. I just went ahead and I picked their top 8 players. Giannis, Bam, Bobby Portis Jr., and we all love the Energizer Bunny Rabbit, that is Bobby Portis Jr., and Russell Westbrook would also be a cousin of Bobby when we talk about Energizer Bunny Rabbits. Davion Mitchell, who continues to get better every time I saw him play last season.
Yeah, I am excited for Davion Mitchell, on this roster with Giannis because, it adds a different aspect. Davion Mitchell is just improving and stuff. I watched a slight bit of Miami Heat. Once again, I do not watch basketball that often. I just keep up with all the stuff. But Davion Mitchell is improving, and I can just tell his stats are going up. His film is looking better, and I honestly think that he could be a future good player for the Miami Heat roster, maybe even make them a better team and maybe help with that playoff push to maybe win a championship.
Jovic, Andrew Wiggins just signed an extension. And look, Andrew Wiggins is what Andrew Wiggins is. He probably shouldn't have been the number one draft pick in the National Basketball Association, but he still is an extraordinarily serviceable basketball player and an integral part of a Miami Heat team if they were to actually make a deep run. By the way, this roster as it stands is significantly better than anything Giannis had in Milwaukee over the last 2.5 seasons. Tim Hardaway Jr. is with the Heat as well. Love that he's wearing his dad's old number. And then, of course, there's a bunch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Tim Hardaway, Bobby Portis, Andrew Wiggins, just how they also work around this, new roster. Tyler Hero is gone, but they bring in, Giannis, obviously. They could bring in Russ. They could bring in Braun. And I think that could vastly improve all of them. And I think that could just make the team a really, really good contender. Because, like Bobby Portis, he isn't a huge name, but he could be. He could help. He could be very important towards, winning an NBA championship. So could Wiggins, so could Hardaway. And so could even Nikola Jovic, Davion Mitchell. Even maybe Simone Fontecchio? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but all of them could be key parts if, they can get the morale up, they can get the chemistry, they can work around, make this roster as best as possible. And I'm really excited to see the Miami Heat next season and what they're going to be with, especially Giannis added to the team.
Other players on this Heat roster that, as the season goes along, will be worth talking about. But I think the real question here is, do you, North America, do you, a Miami Heat fan, do you as an NBA fan, actually believe it would be far more entertaining to have Russell Westbrook on the Miami Heat team versus Russell Westbrook playing for some other team? When I think of all of the national
all I'm going to say is come back to Denver, Russ. I miss you already. I liked when you were in Denver. I wish that he was there for a lot longer. He was only here for, 1 season? Maybe 2? I can't remember. I honestly just don't watch much basketball. I watched a little bit of the finals and I watched a little bit of playoffs, but I'm more of a football and hockey guy. Not much crazy is going on in those worlds, so I just want to, talk basketball. But, yeah, Russ, come back, please. I would just love to see, Russell Westbrook being on the Nuggets again. I really like Russ as a player and as a person. He's got kids. Would love to have that presence on our team, a veteran presence, add to the team. The Nuggets definitely need someone like that, a veteran presence who wants that chip and will play with a chip on their shoulder to try to play and win.
Basketball Association teams and the rosters that they currently have. And I think about the unique skill set that Russell Westbrook brings to the table. High energy, still still decent at grabbing rebounds, still has a sense for where the ball's going to be. And then his innate ability to get other players involved at the ripe old age of 37 has me believing that a Russell Westbrook Miami Heat marriage certainly would make a tremendous amount of sense. Now, I want to know what your thoughts, your opinions are, North America. I always say that the Last Night Today show is a totally interactive show. I want to know what your thoughts and opinions are. And for those of you that haven't been following Russell Westbrook too closely, you might not realize just how well he actually played, because he was playing in one of 2 NBA basketball teams is where usually careers go to die. That's the Brooklyn Nets. And, of course, the West Coast version of that is the Sacramento Kings. But still, Russ put up great numbers, and I think he would put up these same numbers, maybe even better, with a Giannis and a Bam on his team. Drop your comments in. New to the channel, you'd have to be. It's a brand new channel. Please go ahead and subscribe. As always, for Last Night Today. Also, check out our podcast on Spotify. I'm Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
Alright guys, make sure you go subscribe to Last Night Today by Dave DeBaugh. I like his content. I watched another thing, but I just don't think getting Russ might be the best move. I could see it, but I don't think it's the right move. I think LeBron is more right move, getting LeBron and adding someone else to the roster that will be cheaper. I just don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense to, get Russ in this situation. I could see Russ moving teams, though, for sure. Hey, thank you guys for watching. I wanted to do a quick thing real quick. I'm going to be doing these at the end of my videos from now on. My birthday is August 6th, right? About a month. I want to get to 100 subscribers before my birthday. That would mean the world to me. That's like my dream, is to hit 100 subscribers on a YouTube channel. My brother's done it, and I want to keep posting content. I'm going to post as often as I can. I'm going to try to do a lot more, and I've been posting a lot more recently, I feel like, and I'm going to get back into the Minecraft stuff, all that. And I'm going to be analyzing these trades. I'm going to post each day analyzing trades. But yeah, I feel like this is a huge step for my YouTube channel this year. I think I've taken it to the next level, potentially. I still need to get, better editing, better stuff, better software. That's why I'm, working on, getting the PC working back up again, so then I can start recording on there, making videos on there, analyzing on there. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you later.